Hello students, welcome to EPG Pathshala. I am Dr. Archana Kaushik from Department of Social Work, University of Delhi. Today we are going to learn about community engagement and child development from the paper Human Resource Development through Community Engagement. After completing this module, the students will be able to understand the significance of community engagement for child development, identify the areas of violation of child rights and vulnerabilities of children, and examine the scope and efforts of community engagement in ensuring child rights to children. India is a home to the largest child population in the world, which is nearly 400 million. Every sixth child in the world lives in India. Out of total population of 1210.2 million, the proportion of child population in the country is 13.1%, in which 13.3% are males and 12.9% females. Every year, an estimated 26 million children are born in India. In 2011, total number of children in the age group of 0 to 6 years is 158.8 million. Childhood is considered a crucial period. These years lay foundation of human beings' learning and holistic development. It is during childhood years that humans develop the physical, cognitive, social and emotional skills that are needed to live a productive life. This multidimensional development of children has strong and direct bearing on the adult they will become. It highlights the need and importance to invest in children for maximizing their future well-being. Children are considered as tabula rasa, which means clean slate. Whichever values, perceptions, attitudes, experiences the family and community provide to them have far-reaching impact on their psyche and development. The experiences of early years are largely determined by family and community care practices, nutrition and health care, learning opportunities, which in turn are dependent on enabling policies and investments for young children and families. In this backdrop, communities and states' role in child development is analyzed. Child, state and community engagement. A democratic society rests on three pillars: state, market and community. Government is the administrative apparatus of state and civil society is included in the community. The World Development Report 2001 says that the three actors, state, market and community, need to work in tandem so as to promote and ensure democratic values and harmony in the society. Government of India declared its children as the supreme important asset in the National Policy for Children 1974 and thereby restated its commitment to ensure the rights of its children by ratifying related international conventions and treaties. National Policy for Children. It recognizes that programs for children should find prominent place in national development for the development of human resources so that children grow up to become robust citizens, physically fit, mentally alert and morally healthy, endowed with the skills and motivations provided by the society. Numerous schemes and programs have been initiated since independence by the government to reduce vulnerabilities among children and enhance their well-being. Market is profit driven and cannot be expected to have welfaristic and pro-child approach. Community and child. Community plays critical role in the development of children. Family is the subset of community and transmits cultural norms, values, beliefs in children through socialization. Poverty, violence, abuse, discriminations on gender, caste, religious lines make development opportunities inaccessible or limited for many children in India. In agrarian and medieval times, strong community ties acted as social safety net for children, and today it is loosening hold on families, making children vulnerable. Community engagement and child development. Two frameworks are used here. They are child rights based approach as given by United Nations Convention on the Rights for the Children and levels of community participation taken from spectrum of public participation. UNCRC has provided 4 rights: right to survival, right to development, right to protection, right to participation. Levels of community engagement. Levels of community engagement are to inform, such as about a new scheme on child development, consult, take feedback, say on schooling, involve, for instance in midday meals in schools, collaborate, facilitating community members participate in planning, implementation and evaluation of a child development project, and empower. Complete ownership of community people in child development programs. In this PPT, violation of child rights have been depicted in contrast to rights of the child. Right to survival, for example, here we have violation of child rights in terms of IMR, CMR, sex ratio, malnutrition, healthcare issues, hunger deaths, immunization, etc. And likewise, right to development, violation of child rights here would mean dropout rate, out of school children, girl child's education, caste, religion based data. Right to protection can be seen in terms of violation as abuse, which can be physical, sexual, emotional, exploitation, child marriage, whereas right to participation actually means decision making, informed choices, which in most cases Indian children do not enjoy. Child rights to survival and community engagement. This right entails right to children to be born to a safe and non-discriminatory environment and grow in a healthy and dignified way. Adverse sex ratio at birth, high infant and child mortality rates, malnutrition, hunger, deaths, etc. are some of the areas of concern. Statistics. In India, 50 infants out of 1000 live births die before their first birthday. The IMR is higher among female infants as compared to males. Drastic regional differences are seen with highest IMR in Madhya Pradesh and lowest in Kerala. The IMR is very high in rural areas like 55 per 1000 live births as compared to urban areas where it is 34. Similarly, child mortality rate, which is 0 to 4 years, is 14.1 in 2009 and is almost double in proportion in rural areas, 15.7, in contrast to urban areas where it is 8.7. Girls in India have 61% higher mortality rate than boys at the age of 1 to 14 years. The IMR for Dalits or scheduled castes is higher than that of general caste. Sex ratio in India according to census 2001 is 914 girls for every 1000 boys. An estimated 11.6 lakh children die every year within 1 year of their birth due to lack of immunization. Who are vulnerable children? Children belonging to poor families are vulnerable to malnutrition, starvation and hunger deaths. Orphaned, deserted, runaway children, street and working children, children without families. Children from scheduled caste and scheduled tribe groups face caste and other forms of discrimination. Girl children encounter gender-based discrimination, abuse and violation. Children from stigmatized families like those of sex workers, those affected with HIV also face discrimination. Manifestation of vulnerability: malnutrition, starvation and hunger deaths, high mortality and morbidity rates among children, Females have added disadvantage of being victims of feticide and infanticides. Inaccessibility or limited accessibility to avail food security and supplementary nutrition programs. Inaccessibility or limited accessibility to avail health services. Guardians and parents not having awareness of appropriate child rearing practices. Nutritional intake and health needs. Birth registration for majority of newborns is not done due to variety of reasons. This slide shows the current scenario of birth rate in India. Causes and precipitating factors of vulnerability. Gender, caste and health based discrimination is the crux of the problem. This is the outcome of socio-cultural norms, values and practices. Patriarchal notions over centuries are reflected in female feticide, infanticide, discrimination in providing nutritional and health opportunities to girl children. Caste-based discrimination restrict access to basic civic facilities and services among lower caste groups. Economic empowerment is another cross-cutting variable that adds to marginalization of poor families and children. Despite numerous pro-child policies and services, situation of children is still stark. The reason behind is that the people in administration and those implementing those services come from same community or society who have imbibed the restrictive cultural norms and values. Unless community is targeted and mindset of its members is changed to recognize and appreciate equality and rights based approach, substantial changes cannot be expected. Scope of community engagement. Here we would see scope in terms of informing the community. Many times families of children are unable to access services due to lack of information. There are several food security programs including targeted public distribution system where subsidized food grains are provided to below poverty line families. Anganwadi centers under ICDS, midday meals, nutrition education, free immunization, etc. Agency may provide information to parents or community about these services, eligibility criteria and related modalities so as to facilitate accessibility to secure survival and health of children. Here we would see how the community can be consulted. There are many situations when families, children have tried accessing services but faced bottlenecks. Many genuinely poor people lack BPL cards and hence remain out of the pale of services like TDPS. Agencies' role may be taking feedback from families and children on their attempt to avail services or their views on effectiveness of services they have used so far as to identify and remove hurdles in accessibility. Here we are going to see how we can involve community in child rights. Healthcare system can remain dysfunctional only till the time community people start overseeing and auditing their work. Agency may involve people in planning and implementation of services such as midday meals. The village panchayat has mandate to supervise the work of Anganwadi centers and health centers. Village health committee may do social auditing of these services. Here we would look at collaborating with the community. Making the families and community collaborate is both very difficult as well as highly recommended. When people from different backgrounds like caste, class, gender variations, they need to shed away their prejudices and biases. Collaboration of people leads to empowerment of the community. Agency may work with families of the community and elicit their cooperation for services like health checkup camps. Here we would focus on community empowerment. Here families and community take charge of ensuring right to survival of their children and based on specific needs intervene accordingly. For instance, if health functionaries are not working according to their mandate, say practicing untouchability with Dalit families, community may take strict action against them to ensure their transfer or suspension. As community is empowered through its active participation, health system becomes more accountable and transparent. Child right to development and community engagement. This right involves right of children to avail opportunities of growth and development without any discrimination. Denial of free and quality education is considered as the violation of child right to development. In India, many children are deprived of education mainly due to poverty and limited accessibility to educational services. The lack of education adds to the vulnerability of children for forcing them into social evils of child labor and crime. Let us look at certain statistics. Among children, the net enrollment ratio at the upper primary elementary level in government schools in India is only 58.3%. Gross enrollment ratio at the secondary level in government schools is below 50%, and about 35% children with disabilities remain out of elementary school. School dropout rate among adolescent girls is 63.5%. Findings of a study conducted in 565 villages of 11 states in India by Shah, Mandar, Deshpande and Bhaviskar in 2006 demonstrate that in 38% of government schools, Dalit children are made to sit separately while having midday meals, and in 20% schools, they are not even permitted to drink water from the same source. There are rampant empirical evidences on caste-based exclusion and discrimination faced by Dalit children in the school system. Studies also show that children infected and affected with HIV are thrown out of the school. Who are these vulnerable children? Based on the data, following categories of children are vulnerable. Children from scheduled caste and scheduled tribe groups, children from poor families who have to labor to earn to sustain their families, out of school children, particularly girls, who have to take care of their young siblings at the cost of schooling, disabled children having limited access to schooling due to unfriendly physical and social environment, children from stigmatized families like those of sex workers, those affected and infected with HIV remain out of access to development programs like education. Let us look at manifestation of vulnerability. These are out of school children, high dropout rate, poor quality of education, stigma and discrimination in schools leading to dropout. Many children face corporal punishment, physical, mental and sexual abuse. And now let us pay attention to causes and factors of vulnerability. Poverty forces many children to choose work over schooling. Several families in India has unemployed parents and working children. Education is not a felt need, rather it is a normative need. Girls' education has not been valued in Indian culture. Also, lack of basic infrastructure like toilets in schools also is a barrier in schooling of girl children. Similarly, in the case of disabled children, this is due to the cultural insensitivity. Caste-based discrimination, again a cultural notion, makes Dalit children drop out. Children from HIV affected families, sex workers, have limited access to schooling. Schools have not been able to provide non-threatening and conducive environment for the first generation learners. Traditionally, socio-cultural environment of Indian society has provided uncontested respect to teachers. Consequently, many teachers are authoritarian and regressive in their dealings with children. They do not mind abusing and victimizing children in the name of disciplining them. Such environment of school acts as a push factor for the children to drop out. Thus, socio-cultural milieu of a community is largely responsible for violation of child right to development. Scope of community engagement. Here we would see how to inform community and engage them. It may be reiterated that many times parents do not realize the need and worth of education for their children. Creating demand for education is as crucial as establishment of school in a community. Also, modalities and paperwork required for admission in schools is to be informed to parents. Apart from education, there are other developmental needs for children such as recreation, play, involvement in cultural activities, etc., for which community needs to be informed. Here we would focus on how to consult with the community. It is significant to take feedback from parents and children on education system and availability and effectiveness of other services like playground, sports services, etc., in order to know exact challenges and hurdles they are facing. This would help the agency and community worker to respond to the real and felt needs of the community people. Here we would see how we can collaborate with the community. Systems for community engagement in education have been created through establishment of village education committee under village panchayat, parent teacher association and similar others. Agency or social worker is required to encourage and motivate the community to participate actively in the planning and implementation process. This would strengthen and collaborate and develop a sense of ownership. It would also ensure greater accountability and transparency in the education system. Research experiments have shown that community monitoring and participation in the schooling system is a critical variable in ensuring quality education. Here the focus is on empowering the community. At this level, community is ready to take the ownership of educational programs and designs and executes services based on specific requirements of its children. For instance, a community for its out-of-school girls may establish a school along with creche facility for them where they are able to gain benefits of education along with their younger siblings cared in creche. Community empowerment plays an important role in making schools accessible to all children irrespective of their caste, class, gender and facilitates in realizing right to quality education in true sense. Community empowerment ensures quality education and right to development for its children. Right to protection and community engagement. The scope of child right to protection is vast and encompasses guarding children against abuse, exploitation, violence and oppression. A wide range of situations such as children working in varied industries, bricklines, agricultural fields, taking care of their siblings, dying of starvation, being sold, trafficked, physically, sexually abused, married off at tender age, etc., are evidences of violation of their right to protection. Let us look at some of the statistics. India has 10.12 million child laborers aged between 5 to 14 years. Roughly 50% of all working children are girls. The major occupations engaging child labor are pan, bidi and cigarettes, construction, domestic workers and spinning and weaving. Nearly 45% girls in India get married before the age of 18 years. This has serious repercussions on maternal mortality rates. It is alarming that in 2011, the crimes against children reported a 24% increase in their previous year with a total of 33,000 plus cases. Who are vulnerable children? Based on the data, following categories of children are vulnerable. All children are vulnerable to abuse, physical, mental and sexual. Children with social disabilities due to caste, poverty, gender, disability have added disadvantage. Children in conflict zones, victims of natural calamities, human instigated disasters, and children in communities where child marriage is a norm. Manifestation of vulnerability. Crimes against children, murder, physical, sexual abuse, corporal punishment, runaway children, missing children, street and working children, child sex workers, child drug peddlers, child beggars, and those engaged in organized crime. Children of prisoners, sex workers, people infected with HIV, HIV positive children, children with disabilities, married children. Causes and factors of vulnerability. Children are regarded vulnerable, dependent, and gullible, who need to be protected by parents and other elders, including teachers. Indian culture traditionally does not believe in the notion of rights of the children. Children are not assumed to be mature enough to make right decisions for themselves. Elders make all decisions concerning the lives of their children, even decisions related to their career and marriage, and children are expected to silently conform to these decisions. Children are passive receptors of the care and treatment offered to them by their elder caregivers. Scope of community engagement. To inform, communities in India to a large extent are not child oriented. Creating information regarding the rights of the child is needed. The information should be included in terms of awareness about the legislations on child marriage, child sexual abuse, human trafficking, Juvenile Justice Act, etc. It is important for the community members to know that their cultural practices like child marriage, child labor are in conflict with the law. To consult. At this level, the agency or social worker seeks feedback from the community people on effectiveness of child protection interventions and regarding their justifications of treatment of children. For instance, why child marriage is an acceptable norm. The feedback taken from parents may help in designing tailor-made strategies for creating awareness about child rights and their protection from various social hazards. To involve. Engaging community, including parents, in interventions to curb child abuse, expressed as child marriage, labor, etc., would bring change in the mindset and value system. Community people would gradually start accepting the notion of child rights and work towards developing a child-friendly community. To collaborate. Legislations have a limited role in curbing a social evil, say female feticide. When community realizes that certain cultural practices are inhuman and cruel to children, people would shun them away. Collaborative work of the community is the best guard for child protection. To empower. When community takes ownership and initiative to remove social evils that regress the growth and development of their children, major and sustainable positive changes are not far off. A well-aware and empowered community would send its girls to schools and not get them married off. Such a change will have ripple effect in the marriages of educated girls after 18 years. That would mean adherence to healthy maternal and child health practices and happier homes. Community empowerment guarantees right to protection for its children and thereby ensuring a happy and prosperous community. Child right to participation. Child right to participation is one of the most contentious and yet potentially powerful domains of child rights. Participation is one of the guiding principles of UNCRC as well as one of its basic challenges. It states that children have the right to participate in decision-making processes that are relevant to their lives. It includes the right to express their views in the matters affecting them. The right to participation recognizes the potential of children to enrich decision-making processes, to share perspectives and to participate as citizens and actors of change. Causes and precipitating factors. The socio-cultural context in India invariably does not consider children mature enough to take right decisions about their life events. Cultural values and norms act as barriers in ensuring children's right to participation in matters concerning them. Traditionally, Indian culture primarily does not subscribe to the right-based approach. This is particularly true for the children. Conformity to groups and family norms has been the rule. In a common parlance, children are viewed as dependent and vulnerable, devoid of maturity and sense to take suitable decisions for their life. They need protection and support of adult guardians. Their parents and guardians not only know what is best for them, but also they would do accordingly, and they need to conform to the family's rules, norms and wishes. Child right to participation. However, in the past 2 decades, no research evidence has shown any truth in these concerns by parents and guardians. On the contrary, ample experiences across the world demonstrate that children's critical analysis of the reality, their maturity and precision in decision making have time and again pleasantly surprised the adults. In India too, despite these challenges, empirical evidences show that wherever child right to participation is ensured through creating systems like Bal Panchayat, Bal Sadan, remarkable results have been observed. Children have raised voice against evil practices like child labor, child marriage and even caste and gender based practices. Let us now look at certain ways to ensure child right to participation. There are many, some of them have been listed for you. Ensuring participation and leadership among children is the first point. Establishing and strengthening children's forums like Bal Panchayat, making children aware of their rights and duties, sensitizing them about socio-economic and cultural underpinnings that result in violation of rights, making them realize significance and power of collective action to challenge social evils, providing platforms to children like regular publication of children's magazines and similar efforts to demonstrate their ideas, reflections on social issues. Preparing children to be change agent in the struggle against social evils like caste discrimination is very crucial. Thus, investing on child rights and ensuring a conducive environment where every child enjoys rights would lead to a more democratic and just social order. Ensuring right to participation also implies harnessing civic responsibility and leadership qualities among the children, along with institutionalizing their collective action through systems like Bal Panchayat. Now let us summarize what we have discussed in this module. High rates of IMR, CMR, malnourished children, school dropouts, child abuse, child marriage, child labor, etc. depict the apathetic state of Indian children. There is rampant violation of child rights in India. The situation of children is analyzed in the context of 4 categories of rights given by UNCRC and ratified by the Indian government. Role and scope of community engagement across these rights have been delineated on 5 levels: to inform, consult, involve, collaborate and empower. Community has huge potential as well as moral responsibility to ensure that all the children enjoy their rights and grow into responsible and productive citizens. Community engagement is a prerequisite to guaranteeing child rights. Thank you.